Hey, Shalloners. Well, we're all here in quarantine, and I was very hesitant to post this video about my trip to Paris in January because I was like, I don't want people to think I'm in Paris now, like war profiteering and traveling like a complete jerk during the coronavirus. I was not. I mean, I was a jerk in Paris, just my own baseline jerkiness. But I thought maybe it would be a little bit of like escapism and some inspo for when this whole thing is over, planning some trips on your own because you know, some of your friends might not be able to travel, they might not want to, but if you've still got the wanderlust, the wanderluster, if you will, check out my trip to Paris and my tips for solo travel. On y va!
I just wanna hold you.
Salut Shalloners! Je suis à Paris. Vous êtes prêtes? That's right, Shalloners. I am in Paris. I just got to Paris. I'm here for a few days before another trip, this content trip down in the south of France near Marseille, and then I'm coming back to Paris for a few days after that. So I'm kind of bookending this trip, and I'm doing it by myself. Yes, that's right. We're on a solo trip. So this video is going to be about how to go on a solo trip, have fun, not make it weird, not feel like you're a social pariah, and how, if you do it right, you might actually prefer to travel solo a good amount of the time. We break it all down. But first, just want to remind you, if you have a love question, a travel question, a dating question, a fashion question, find me on my website, shallonlester.com, and click Get Help. Also, follow along on all of my travel adventures at ShallonXO on Instagram. You can also check out my story highlights for every country and city that I've been to. Super fun, super fun, super fun. So I love to travel. And if you guys already follow me, you know that, because it seems like every other week I'm someplace, and that's not exactly false. Hold on, just shut this door. I'm on the go a lot. It's just kind of how I was raised. My mom was a flight attendant when she was young, and we both have that wanderlust. That wanderluster. Wanderluster. I swear if I ever start a travel company, that's what I'm going to call it. Please don't buy the domain name. Please let me have it. So it's just kind of a fact that the older you get, the less people are going to be able to travel. But it's also hard when you're young because people don't have the money to travel. And then when they're older and they do have the money, they don't have the time. So it's like, it always seems like there's something that prevents you from going to as many places as you want to. And that's, who am I going to go with? Let that go. In this video, you're going to see how I experienced Paris by myself. But before we get into that, let's talk about traveling by yourself, because you know what? When we think about traveling by ourselves, you know what the number one thing we think about is? Eating alone. I can't go anyplace by myself because I cannot eat at a restaurant by myself. Yes, you can. We're going to get into that in a minute. I'm going to break down how to do that. But first, here is why solo travel is great. To me, the definition of luxury is doing whatever I want, whenever I want. And that's in the micro. I can wear what I want. I can go where I want. I can stay as long as I want. And in the macro, I can be in whatever city I choose to be. I can be around the people I want to be. I can opt out of situations if it's annoying. I don't have to stay there because, oh gosh, they're paying me and I can't afford to live. Nope. Freedom is luxury. To me, that's luxury. And so when I travel by myself, I feel luxurious. And it's taken me a while to get here because, like I said, when we think about traveling alone, we think about eating alone, and then we think about being like the hunchback of Notre Dame and like dying alone because we seem like such an incredible freak. First of all, if you want to experience cool things in life, you're going to have to get comfortable doing them by yourself, right? If you want to experience literally anything in life, you're going to have to do it alone. That is sort of our state as people. We're born alone, we die alone, and our achievements are solo. The things that you achieve in your office, like in a business setting, that's you and you alone. When you're studying for that doctorate degree or just your BA, that's you and you alone. So our pleasurable things are often going to come from being alone. Sometimes like I look back and I think of like what my greatest days were, and it's true that we don't remember days, we remember moments. You know who said that? My great-grandfather, Cesare Pavese, one of Italy's premier literary figures of the 19th century, no, 20th century. But when I think about truly the times I felt so happy, they were very solo moments. I was horseback riding, I was on a boat, I had achieved something, I was just following my nose in a foreign city. So reframe what being by yourself looks like. For me, it's luxury. We're surrounded by people all the time. We're overstimulated. We're inundated with opinions. And from like the internet to our friends. Everyone's got their own thing that they want to do. Everyone has their own way of traveling. Everyone has something that's important to them that might not align with what's important to us. But when we travel by ourselves, we can experience a city or a country the way we organically want to experience it. And that, again, feels luxurious. I don't need to talk to anyone else. I don't need to ask anyone else's permission. I'm the captain of this ship, and this is how we're going to do things. I was walking around Paris just like a little bit ago, because I haven't been here that long. And it took me like 30 minutes to get 3 blocks because I was stopping, I was taking pictures, I was buying a little something, I was getting a tea, I was getting a treat. And I'm like, man, I would have whizzed right by all this had I been with my friends, because like, okay, well, we're trying to go here and there, and like, let's just get around. And I wouldn't want to hold people up. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry. Can I stop? You guys, can I take a picture? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, no, never mind. No. I got to go at my own pace. And no, I didn't cover a lot of ground, but I covered a lot of emotional and experiential ground. And that was like, ooh, luxury to me. I like to get in and get cozy, like in the places that I go. My friend Eliza actually said that. She's like, when you travel, you get cozy. You like embed yourself into that culture. Like, if you go out to the West, you're horseback riding, you're roping, you're two-stepping. You go to Europe, you got a beret, you're on a ghost walk tour of the cemetery, whatever it might be. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And part of the reason is because a lot of these places I go by myself. Sometimes this has been a function of what my old job used to be. I was an editor at a magazine for a long time, and we would go on press trips. And a press trip is a trip organized by a brand. Like, okay, so a brand, like a hotel would send you, like a hotel sent me to Ibiza. And it would be like a group, and the publicist would run it. The publicist would work for the brand or for a PR company that represented the brand. So they were kind of our event coordinator, and they would get a group of journalists, and now it's become, we started to incorporate influencers. And it was like a little tour group. And sometimes it would be for a wine brand, or just the board of tourism for the Cayman Islands or something, or a music festival, or a film festival, or a clothing brand that wanted you to go to an island and wear like all of their designs on the beach and get photographed. And it was cool because there was just enough organization and just enough alone time. And you could interact as much as you wanted to with the other journalists and people on the trip, but you could also make it kind of a very solitary experience. You didn't have to be very open. You could go take walks along the beach when you wanted to. You could be by yourself. And it was kind of a good little acclimation into solo travel. Or sometimes I would get in a day earlier or I'd stay a day later. That's just how the schedule went. And I felt like I had enough sort of guidance. Like, this is where you're going to be staying. We got a car for you at the airport. You don't have to figure absolutely everything out. But then it still gave me the freedom. It was kind of like training wheels, solo travel training wheels. Like, I knew publicist mom was like always there to bail me out if something was weird, or if I'm like, I don't want to eat this meal alone. Like, Minna, can you come down from your hotel room and eat with me? And she'd be like, okay. But from there, I was able to wade into traveling by myself because I was offered solo press trips. Like, hey, we want you to come to this mountain retreat. We're doing solo visits. Can you come? And I was like, yeah, okay. It's important to me to travel. And you know the motto, if something's important, you find a way. If it's not, you find an excuse. There's a lot of people who want to say that they're travelers, but they don't travel at all, right? And everyone wants to think of themselves as that like cosmopolitan person, just packed a bag and threw a scarf around my neck and just got on a plane. I have done that. My mom was famous for doing that. When she was a flight attendant, she would like get in a fight with her boyfriend or something, and she would go to the airport at like 22, and she'd be like, what's the next international flight leaving? And they're like, Johannesburg. She's like, great. And she'd go. So in order to travel well by yourself, first of all, you gotta pack well. And this is why solo travel is great, because you can repeat outfits. No one is going to know. When in doubt, all black. All black is the way, because you don't want to look like a tourist. You feel much less weird traveling if you feel like you blend in a little bit. So, oh my God, I don't know how many times, like just as a New Yorker, and I can always tell a tourist because they're wearing literally every trendy item they own all at once. You know, like if you get clothes for Christmas and your mom's like, put them on, and you put on like every single thing that you got, and you're just like this explosion of them all. And here in Paris, I saw this woman. She was wearing high-heeled snakeskin boots that looked cheap, that she couldn't walk in, to the Louvre, to a massive Like, you're gonna walk in that. And cheap, fake pleather leggings and this, like, jaunty hat and this Michael Kors bag. And I was like, you could not look more American if you tried. Like, you just look like a clown. So always go all black with pops of color, a colorful coat, a scarf, a hat, cute handbag, accessories. Because you're gonna look chic, you're gonna blend in a good way, and then you can repeat outfits and it's no big deal. So let's talk about the eating alone. This is the grand dragon to slay. I remember Oprah even did an episode, like a show about this, that like she challenged herself to go to a restaurant and eat alone. And she was like, I don't know, man, like 40 at the time. And she's like, I don't think I can do it. And I was like, dude, I eclipsed Oprah when I was like 24 in the smallest of categories, but let me have it. Here's the thing to remember about eating by yourself. You ready? You wouldn't care so much what people thought about you if you knew how seldom they did. That's right. Literally no one gives a shit about you. No one cares if you're eating by yourself. Maybe if you're perched on the table like a gargoyle, eating with your hands and snarling at people as they walk by, that's going to strike a memory. But if you're a person reading a book, even going through your phone and eating alone, great. Think back on when you have noticed someone eating by themselves and how many times subsequently you've thought about it and talked about it and all the attention you've given to it. I bet you can't think of a single instance, right? I mean, unless someone was doing something insane, like getting blasted at an airport bar and throwing down shots and vomiting everywhere. Like, you probably can't remember going to a nice restaurant and like there was a guy at the bar eating. It's like, I don't know, maybe there was. Do you think like that person has no friends? They have no friends. Realistically, they probably do. And you do too. And if somebody does, let's say, somebody's like, oh my God, I have to write down, there's this girl alone eating. She's eating alone. I'm going to tell everyone about this. That's the loser, bro. That you are not the loser. That is the loser. That's so bizarre. I know I have friends. I know when I'm alone purposefully. And therefore, it doesn't make it weird. It makes it luxurious, right? When you're doing something by choice and not by force, it's completely different. Everyone likes sex. No one wants to be a prostitute. You know, think of it that way. So you're not prostituting yourself eating alone in that like you have no choice and people are forcing you to do this. You're doing it out of luxury. And I like to eat alone because I can eat exactly what I want at the pace that I want. I don't have to think like, should we get fried? No, you don't like that? Okay, no, that's okay. No, I don't need to share. No, I don't care. No, why don't you pick the salad? Why don't the fuck I pick the salad? How about that? I'm going to eat the salad I want to eat. And a lot of times I find I eat so much more when I'm with other people because I'm anxious. Like I'm socially very anxious, which people don't think. And I anesthetize myself with food and alcohol. So I'll go through a bottle of wine with a friend. You want dessert? No, I shouldn't. Okay, yeah. I didn't want dessert. And if I'm by myself, I'm so much more aware of how I feel, of what I'm eating. It's mindfulness. It's like meditation. And also sometimes I just want to eat and scroll through my phone, okay? I just want to answer some emails. I want to enjoy my meal. I don't want to have someone being like, can you get off your phone? Are you done? Are you done? No, I'm not done. I don't plan on being done. And nobody can tell me anything. Luxury. Freedom. When we were kids, what did we want? No one telling us what to do. That's what solo travel is. So it's all about reframing. You can go at your own pace. You can do the things that are truly fun for you. Truly fun for you. I've had some friends like who are going to be in town and it's like, I don't almost want to meet up with them because I know I can see them at other times. This is my time for me because once you decide, hey, I'm going to travel by myself and you really lean into the luxuriousness of it and how you can follow your nose. If you want to spend one whole day eating nothing but pastries, eating your way around Paris, you can do that. If you want to spend 6 hours nerding out in the Louvre, ain't nobody going to say nothing about it. If you're like, you know what? I'm so exhausted. I need a nap. You can do that. You don't owe anyone anything. So, let's get going in Paris. I really try to do a lot of research about a city before I go there. I said try. I've been super busy, so I haven't been able to research Paris as much as I want. I've been here a few times before, though, so I'm not like totally new to the city. But one thing I rely on a lot, this is not an ad, this is just my advice, is Airbnb experiences. If you haven't experienced experiences, it's basically like little tours, workshops, classes, meetups, stuff like that in a section of Airbnb for a city. It's cool to book like one thing a day, whether it's like tonight I'm going on a ghost walk of Paris. I'm doing a cemetery tour. I'm doing a photo shoot at the Eiffel Tower. I'm doing a tour of the Louvre. I'm doing a wine and cheese tasting, because it gives your day some structure and it gives you just enough human interaction that you don't feel like suddenly you're like a non-person at society. You're just like a ghost floating around. And also make sure you make your trip a certain, like a decent amount of time. I think 3 nights for solo travel is perfect, like no more, no less. And it's great if it can precede or follow a group trip so that you can kind of unwind. Maybe your friends have already gone home. You build in a day or two by yourself in the city so that you can cover the stuff that maybe you didn't get to see while your friends are there. And so that can be kind of the baby training wheel. So yeah, try out Airbnb experiences or, some other thing like that. I don't even know what other things are, but they're usually very cheap. You can book them like the day of, even a few hours before, right through the app. And I've always had really great, experiences. Like I've had, I really like it. So yeah, not an ad, just my hack. But yeah, guys, you ready? Let's go explore Paris. On y va! About to set off on our last day here in Paris. It's my birthday and I'm by myself. The trend people have left, like Remy and them have gone on to Marseille. So I'm kind of excited to just be in Paris by myself. Even though it's my birthday, I don't mind being alone on my birthday. I'm surrounded by people a lot and it's nice to just kind of do whatever you want. Like that's what birthday should be. Just like you following your nose, for me, my mouth, and if I see a cute boy, my hips, and just like living your best life. And it's pretty fun because I'm going to be with people for the whole rest of the week. I'm going to see all my friends when I get back. So I'm excited. And today I want to go shopping. I have to get some gifts for people. I am going to go to, let's see, a few different places. We're going to go to Place de Vendôme, faire de shopping, get some cool stuff. We'll see how much money I spend. It's my birthday. I can indulge, right? That's what everyone says till the credit card bill comes in. So I don't give the French a lot of credit for inventing stuff, even though I am French, but look at this. You guys look at this. It pops open and then it recloses. Are you kidding me? Dude, if we get in another world war, we need France on our side for inventing something like this. Incredible. So I just took an Uber to Bleu Sucre, which according to Vogue Paris has the best croissants in Paris. We're gonna eat them, we're gonna try. We might have to eat 2 or 3 for science, just so we know. Voila. So we have a croissant and we have, this is a Kugenamen. Now Kugenamen comes from Brittany in France and it was made around like 1820 and it's known as the fattiest of all pastries. It literally translates to butter cake. So I am so geeked on this and this is kind of one of their specialties. And you're probably saying, wait, Shallon, I thought you were really cold. Why are you outside? Because this is the thing that French people seem to do. No matter how cold it is, they're still on the patio. Like even when there's room inside. This place has no room inside. So that's why we're out here. I don't know if it's like a point of pride, like we are strong, we do not care about the cold. Il fait froid, pas de problème, ce n'est pas grave. But it is grave to me. I'm fucking freezing. So I'm gonna inhale these and then get on to my second breakfast before having my third and my fourth. This is the best croissant I've ever had in my life. In my whole life. Not true. Usually when I eat a croissant, I'm like starving at Starbucks and desperate. So every croissant is the best croissant I've ever eaten. But this one, not born of desperation, is incredible. Croissants are impossible to make. This one has like a little bit of caramelized sugar on the top. It's unbelievable. If you come to Paris, go to Bleu Sucre, B-L-E, sucre, like sugar, S-U-C-R-E, accent. It's definitely worth it. It's kind of by the Bastille, so if you're over in that area, go. Oh my God, this was so worth an Uber. Well, the inevitable has happened. Sugar crash. I thought maybe I could stave it off because pastries like kugenamen and croissants aren't as sugary as the stuff was yesterday at the Ritz. It's here. My body is already mad at me. I'm already a touch under the weather. Sugar is poison. Ugh. It's like I'm killing myself and this is my weapon of choice. But don't worry, I'm bringing it with me like the true fatty I am. I bring like, every time I travel, I bring like one of those Baggu like wad bags and I stuff it in my purse. So that if I go shopping, you know, I'm not either carrying a million bags or using plastic sacks. And am I unrolling it just to put in leftover pastries? Yes. I feel like taking leftovers is a uniquely American thing. Like other cultures are like, you want to take leftovers? Yo. Yes, I do. Oh my God. I need a syringe of insulin. I feel horrible. I always tell people not to do when they go to a different city is try to learn the subway system or the bus system. Take an Uber. Otherwise, you're going to spend all your time confused and lost underground. Go see the city. And yet here I am. There's so much Paris traffic. This is kind of the best way to get around. So we're going. This is one of the chicest candy shops I've ever seen. And these fruits confits, like dried glazed fruits, are 120 euros for the strawberries each. I mean, holy moly, the French know how to eat. One place I go in every country is the grocery store. You really can learn so much about the culture in such a short amount of time by going to the grocery store and just like seeing what they eat. Like, look at that. Little tiny cheese balls with potatoes, something, I don't know. But like, it's so cool. They eat pizza. Weird pizzas with all sorts of things on there. You know you're in France when there are more than two, full aisles of cheese. My God, I hope the power goes out and we get stuck in here. Look at this adorable ass milk. Like, why is this milk so much cuter than ours? And French milk is truly like so much better. Oh my God, it's in glass. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, more dairy. 2 full aisles of yogurt. Yogurt, and more yogurt as far as the eye can see. Holy moly. Unlike in America, because we don't care about our health, probiotics are huge in Europe. Like, it's very normal to drink really good, healthy yogurt. Drink, I say, because it's usually pretty liquidy if it's full of probiotics. And this is why Europeans live longer and they're hotter and they're naturally thinner, is because they're eating real yogurt, not this like Yoplait sugar bomb bullshit. So I spoke too soon on the not eating sugar bomb yogurt. Yep, there's a whole side of the store devoted to just like to-go creme caramels, like just a casual, you know, lunchbox creme brulee. Yeah, no big deal. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna pop this in my bag for later, maybe a post-workout snack. My God, what's with them and rice pudding? An easy gift to bring back from Europe is chocolate. It packs so well, and even though this is like Lent, it probably isn't something that your friends usually get or are used to seeing. Like, look, what is this, beer flavored Lent? Oh, Irish coffee, okay, that's fine. Like pistachio macaron, like it makes such a pretty, cool gift, and it's €3. Welcome to Monoprix. It's like the Target of Paris, and I'm geeking out. One thing you'll find at Sephora Paris that you won't in New York or anywhere else in America, a sale. Bon matin, Shalloners. We are up bright and early because we're going to cemetery. You guys ever want to travel with me? Probably not, because I'm going to drag you to like cool historic cemeteries. I love cemeteries. Do you know what the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard is? A graveyard is attached to a church. A cemetery is like freestanding and not attached to a church. So that's really interesting. So we're going to the Père Lachaise, the Father Lachaise cemetery, and it's where people like Oscar Wilde, Frederick Chopin, Jim Morrison are all buried, and tons of other people. My Airbnb experience tour actually just got canceled. It's fine. That's fine. So I downloaded some podcasts, like some walking audio tour, like Rick Steves has one that I'm sure is good. And just goes to show, like, there's so much information out there. Like, you don't have to book yourself an expensive tour. But I like tours, especially if I'm traveling by myself, because it gives me like that human interaction, just enough that I don't feel like I'm just this ghost person in a cemetery. And I'm in an Uber right now. He's like bumping some Latin music. And so I have to say I'm like annoyed because I have some friends in town, and I know you're like, wait a minute, you're solo traveling but you have friends here. They're friends from the Trend 45 trip, and they came to Paris for a few days after, and they really wanted me to come out last night, and I'm like, I really want to be fresh for the cemetery. And they were giving me like such a guilt trip. They're like, it's our last night in Paris. I was like, well, it's not my last night, I'm still here. And maybe this is me growing up. Finally, it's like I want to do more in a city than just drink. To me, that's not the best way to see a city. Like, I live in New York City. I can drink and get wasted in cool bars whenever I want. And I think it's like cool to do that like maybe one night in a foreign city, not when you're traveling by yourself, because that's the thing. When you travel by yourself, you don't really drink. It's like, I'm not going out to the bars like ripping shots. And I like that, and that's part of the thing I like about solo travel is I'm just like healthier. I'm running healthier. I eat less because I'm not at dinner like panic eating. Should we get dessert? Okay. It's like I'm truly doing whatever I want to do, and I'm much more judicious and healthy, I guess, when I'm on my own. So I felt really guilty that I didn't go out because they're like, oh my God, we're going to go to the Eiffel Tower and do all this. Spoiler alert, they didn't. They were out till 4 a.m. just drinking, and I'm like, that just doesn't sound that cool to me. Who wants to be hungover in Paris? There's so much to see in this beautiful historic city. Look at this place. And if you're in Iowa City, go to TGI Fridays and get blasted. Who fucking cares? But like, that's not what I flew across an ocean to do. I really want to see things. I want to learn. And I guess that makes me a nerd, but that's fine. So this just goes to show that if you are traveling with other people, make sure you travel the same way. Like, ask them what like their bucket list things to do in the city. Maybe it's drinking, maybe it's a cemetery. And you might assume you're on the same page. Like, I thought my friends I was like, no, like, let's get up early and go to the cemetery. And they're like, no. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home then. And I don't know why it bothers me so much that I guess because I'm like, I haven't been to Paris since my father died when, so that was like right after college. And I'm like, oh my God, what if it's another like decade or whatever until I get back out here? And what if it like burns down? And what if I never got to go to these bars? And it's like, you could say that about anything on planet Earth. It's like, what if I don't eat that basket of McDonald's fries right now? What if I never get to eat fries? It's like, I don't know, man. We'll see you on the other side. We'll see at the crossroads up in heaven if maybe you can do something up there. Like, you can't live like that. You really have to do what's authentic. And a quote that I love by Martha Beck is, when in doubt, choose the thing that feels like freedom. And for me, being by myself last night and going to bed early felt like freedom. Because once I make up my mind that I'm traveling alone, I really enjoy it, and I really like get into it because I become addicted to doing whatever I want, whenever I want, not having to wait for someone to get ready. Do they know how to order the Uber? They're walking slow. I want to stop here and walk slow. It's like, I can go at my own pace, and is that not luxury? The cemetery has 70,000 tombs, is home to 1 million dead souls, and is larger than Disneyland. Do you see why I love cemeteries? God, this is so cool. C'est le columbarium
This is the columbarium, and that refers to a place where urns full of ashes are kept. And see that little flame on the top, that little tippy top? That's the chimney where they cremate people. It's actually really fucking gross. But right around here, you can see all those little patchwork. They look like little grids, and those are where the ashes are stored. Isadora Duncan, a famous dancer, is buried here, along with Maria Callas, an opera singer who is super dramatic and a diva. I know what you're thinking. How can I be buried here? Because what is more chic than to be buried in a Parisian cemetery, n'est-ce pas? D'accord. Well, for a 20 square foot plot, which is not very big, you're going to pay about 10,000 euros. If that sounds expensive, it actually isn't. The Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, where I live, is about $100,000 for a plot.
Okay, we're ready to go. It's dinner time. And here's my hack for feeling less lame when you eat alone, because I know you guys are still thinking about it. I know you're still thinking about it. Go at weird times. Like, go kind of during off hours. It's almost 5 o'clock right now. I think it is 5 o'clock. And I'm hungry. I mean, I'm hungry like around the clock. And not everyone's at dinner right now. So if you really don't want to be like out and about when other people are eating and like feel kind of like weird, you can go to places that are trendy before they get like crowded, or even just any restaurant, because then you'll be done by like 6 or 6:30 and it'll just kind of starting to be filling up. Actually, like especially in Paris and big cities, like people don't really go to dinner until like starting at 8. So if you go before then, you're going to be completely good to go. And also in big cities, they have like prix menus, like really good deals. Like you get the entree, the appetizer, the dessert for like 28 euros or something like that. So it allows you to try out really cool, nice restaurants like on a budget. Speaking of a budget, like you guys, I know, just the room, I know it's so small. It's like not even a room, it's like an idea. I did my research, but this was kind of a last minute shift because I'm like, I just don't want to move my stuff. And goes, anyway, it doesn't matter. And this thing, it doesn't matter. And it's almost good if you get like a tiny hotel because it's going to force you out. And if you're traveling alone for the first time, you might have this tendency to like, no, I need to stay here. Don't stay at someplace with room service. Don't stay someplace with their own restaurant because you're never going to leave the hotel. And you got to get out there. So stay someplace that puts you in a full-size bed instead of the king size you're used to. No big deal. All right, guys, time to go to dinner. Oh, and dress up a little bit. I do my hair, I do my makeup. Like, I could wear sweats and like a hoodie or whatever. But if you're maybe worried about already feeling like kind of weird and goblin-y and like a freak, don't dress like a freak. Look cute, because then you're going to look like a person on the go. She's just stopping to have dinner on her way to Paris Fashion Week. That's what's going on right now here. It's Paris Fashion Week. So the city is full of people who are traveling by themselves and they're eating by themselves. And in big cities, nobody thinks it's weird. Like Paris, London, New York. Like in Paris, eating by yourself is like a thing. Like it's not a necessity. It's a luxury. Like people enjoy doing that, you know? Like, no, I don't want to be bothered. No, I want to be by myself. No, je suis pour moi.
One thing I notice about Paris is, yes, there are the arrondissements, which are like the districts and neighborhoods, and they each have their own flavor and vibe, which, I mean, yes, like every other city in the world. But there's also neighborhoods in terms of stores. There's like the lamp district, and there's 15 lamp stores in a few block radius. There, where my old hotel was, it was like the vintage camera district. And that was adjacent to the vintage sewing machine store district. And now, where I am now in the Latin Quarter, it's the travel agency district. There are travel agencies everywhere around me. There's one, the Comptoir de Voyager. Even when it's gloomy, Paris is still so pretty. That's a Keto Queen. This is basically my favorite place in all of Paris. Oh my God. Look at this gorgeous restaurant with all of those plants on top. Oh my God. Are you guys sick of seeing this outfit yet? Oh my God, too bad. So like I said, we pack light when we travel alone so that we can leave room for souvenirs. And literally my go-to souvenir when I travel is food. I don't bring back souvenirs, I bring back diabetes. So I buy chocolates. They're easy to travel with. Like, you can buy really cool bars of chocolate that people can't get everywhere, and it gives you an excuse to try for the scientific sake all of the cool chocolatiers and chocolate shops and goodies and tasty treats. So that's kind of what I'm walking around doing. I'm also walking around going to get like surgical masks for the flight. I have some, but I feel like I need more. There's a lot of people here from China on vacation because it's about to be the new year. We gotta stay safe. The best thing about Paris, I guess you could do this anywhere, but you just feel like you have more license to drink a cappuccino at like 5:30 at night, 6 o'clock. It's gonna be a long night. We've got a ghost walk tour of old Paris and then a photo shoot at the Eiffel Tower. Allons-y. Look where we are. This only happens once an hour where it starts to shimmer. So beautiful. Okay, babies, that's a wrap on Paris. I hope you guys had a really good time following along on this adventure with me. I had an awesome time. It was so cool. And I hope that it gave you guys some inspiration to travel by yourself and just really explore, even if you're going to the town next door, whatever, even if you're just taking yourself out to lunch, baby steps. But I'm definitely going to keep on traveling. Please drop your suggestions for where I should go next into the comments. Like, is there a city you've always wanted to explore by yourself and you want me to go? Because you know I'm willing to be your like travel guinea pig and guinea pig for pretty much everything else. So we're going to pack, we're going to get some sleep, and we're going to head on home. Au revoir, Paris. Mwah.
You are the sunshine.